Thank you so much for joining me again for another session of Choice Spirit. Today I want to speak a little bit about the stimulus check coming in for many people in America. Initially, I think the other president was something like 2,000. They wouldn't do it because initially they were saying 600 or 400, trying to give you back your own money, money that you've actually paid into the system. So they decided on, I guess, for this package, they would give you a full, I don't know, 1,400, 1,600. It depends on your family composition, what you'll be getting back. And so it's really your own money. But what, I'm not talking about this part. I'm just saying, what is so interesting is that I think Americans are only, maybe 6 or 8%, 6, 8 or 9%, and the rest of your money is going to other countries. It's going to other countries and things that have absolutely, it doesn't have anything to do with this thing that they created. Absolutely nothing. But as a way to line pockets and do things. I mean, you have money going into, let me not start naming stuff. I don't, because I don't know enough to speak about it. I speak about get your mind, okay? Write your own narrative. The stimulus check, though, it's not enough to cover much of it. It's just there to stimulate, to go back into the economy, to help get things going again, really to circulate back into the pockets of those to the wealthiest. So it's given to you so you can send it back out to them, so it can circulate. But anyway, I want to say this. I did a video about creating your own narrative. And there are many people that are looking to take that much needed, whatever it is helpful, because even more is going into supposedly going into the small businesses as well, so that they can get up and running. So it's a much needed thing. With that said, remember people are making money all day, every day. While there are those waiting for a stimulus check, there are people that are doing it. And so what's the difference between us and them? Yeah, there's a number of us who manage to ride this way and do well. But the majority are sitting there waiting for with no other option than to wait for a stimulus. So I said all that to say, keep it in love, people. Love, love, love. Okay? Non-judgment. Just mind over matter. Mind over matter. Okay? I know people say, I don't want to hear that. I know what I'm going through. I know what I've been through. Don't tell me anything about mind over matter. And those that feel that way cannot explore the possibilities. Because what you say it is has to be. What you believe it to be has to be. Those are the laws that the Most High, the Creator of all creation, has set in place. Whatever you believe has to be honored. So anything I'm saying, you don't have to take. You don't have to believe it. So I'm only suggesting, I'm only saying that there are people that made up their mind that they would live a certain way and be a certain way. And remember I told you, get rid of the victim attitude. We are not victims, we are the creators. We are the first frequency people, as I heard my brother say. We are the ones dreaming up this mess. I shouldn't call it mess because it's divine. It is divine. Remember, I tell you, there's a dream, there's a dreamer, and there's someone in a dream. Where are you choosing to be in this? You create your own reality unless you relinquish your power, your energy. Where your focus goes is what you grow. You are pure currency. Pure, pure currency. People that don't have what you have need your currency in order to exist. They need you in order to exist. It's almost like that thing they created. It has no life. It's not life. It needs a life in order to be. Okay? It needs a life in order to be. So you got people that created this thing that is similar to themselves, that is needing something to feed on. It's getting windy. So I hope you can hear me. So what I'm saying is that create your mind over matter, meaning create your own narrative, your own story. Now, granted, the stimulus check is their narrative. Don't get it twisted. And when you accept that, you are accepting their narrative. Okay, just hear me out. When you take what they've written as their reality and you accept that reality as your reality, then you are accepting their story, their narrative. But this is the thing, y'all. You can do that. Get your stimulus. Go back into your own story. Write your own narrative. So whatever they have attached to that is whatever they have attached to that. I'm not making any suggestions. I did say I suggested, but I take that back. I'm just saying, when you go and you accept, it's like you stepping from one story into another story to get your little whatever, ching ching. But you have to remember to turn around and come back into your own story. Okay? Because that is a narrative. Remember I told you about flipping through basic channels and saying, okay, you want to see the 10 most beautiful places around the earth, then your energy is all in that. You're consumed by that. You're in that. You're entangled in that. You're entangled in that. So that is what you are experiencing through the lens of another that is sharing it with you. So you're having that experience. Okay, that energy is then transferred to you, and it becomes part of what you've observed. It's become a part of you, right? If you go and you tune into something else, walking through that home that you've always wanted, or, like I said, taking that vacation, or having family fun, or whatever it is, that's another narrative. Each one is a narrative. Remember, I did a video on mansion. There are many mansions. Each one is a room within a mansion or the mansion itself. And depending on how you are vibing is what you have the key to. It's what you can get into, whichever room that is. So whatever you are watching becomes one of those rooms. Okay? So if you want to step outside in the external and do your bidding, which is necessary because we are human beings we are a spiritual being having a human experience. We are a spiritual beings. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. And whatever you can possibly conceive and believe with your heart and mind, and remember, your true mind is in your heart space. Okay? Your mind, this is outside of what we believe is our brain, right? the processing center here, but our minds are truly outside of there. We just have a processing center here. But the true mind is here, and the intellect is needed to work in accordance, to work along with your heart mind, which is more powerful, more intelligent, more in tune than the mind. Okay? So, though we're doing the emotional thing, I know I'm touching many different areas. You know, I do videos and separate them, but I'm just speaking for a moment. That when you take the emotion, you know, people say, okay, it's a mental age now. I want you to know that it's a mental age, but the mental is working on behalf of the heart, mind, the true mind, not the other way around. It's not mental in that way. Some folk can only operate out of the mental. I don't want to say because they have no heart. I'm just saying. But some folks can only operate out of the mental. When I talk about emotional intelligence versus this IQ thing that they've talked about, you know, IQ test, IQ, but they're studying emotional intelligence because emotional intelligence is more powerful than one that is just living based on their IQ. Someone that has a high IQ and an even more powerful emotional intelligence is basically untouchable. And that's where we are here. So I went from the many mansions, lifting your vibration in order to have the key to enter into any one of those rooms, flipping through various channels and each one being a narrative, and you're going to go get your stimulus, you know, which you'll be stepping into that narrative to get it. But bring it on back and have your own story, your own narrative, and how you're going to do that, and be in tune with your intuition as to what to do, because many people are talking about investments, this, that, and some of those investments are investing in companies that got their foot on the neck of Africa, the motherland, or on ourselves, investing in people and companies that has been taken from us, that cause much of this stuff that's going on. Foreigners that managed to get themselves rooted into America and then now dividing us even more so than we were before. We were having issues, but now, you know, it's been leading up, it's been creeping up to this, to culminate into this. But remember, this is someone's story that they wrote. It's not our story. And just to let you know, Black Lives Matter is not our story. It's not our story. It's funded by foreigners that are using it to divide us, even more so. So everything they can do, from gender, from black, from white, from this, from finances, and then they come in with this jab. So I'm just saying, got a whole DNA archive. I'll save that for another video. Mining DNA, that's what they call it, mining DNA. That means taking everyone's DNA and then coming up with more stuff that they can, you know, use to carry out their agenda. But remember, can't touch you. You have many rooms in this mansion, many mansions within this space. You can lift your vibe to enter in the room of any of those and not even know anything or feel anything or experience anything. Maybe a ripple, but it's just that, it's just a ripple. It does not exist in your world unless you give it your energy, your currency. You're the true currency. You the true colors. Much love. Thank you so much for joining me again for another session of Choice Break. Namaste. Oh, subscribe. Subscribe and hit the bell, because one of the things is, and if you're not subscribed or if you don't hit the bell and all of that, my videos don't go out to everyone. They don't get to everyone. They only get to a few. So share this channel. Not everyone will get it. Not everyone is ready for it. Not all eyes will see. Not all ears will hear. And of course, everyone it's their prerogative whether or not they agree or disagree. I honor and respect that. Truly, because it's your story. It's your story. What you say. Thank you.